Is the Kospi market showing us signs of a comeback, and can it save Micron, Sandisk, and lot more other memory and chip stocks this coming week? Because as you know, we have been seeing a collapse in the memory stocks lately, and which started pretty much indications of that last week, and I have been telling you about all of that in these videos of mine. If you are also a member, you have a lot more insights actually where the money is rotating. So definitely feel free to check those videos out on my channel. But in this video, let's take a look at how Kospi did the last day. And also we'll take a look at SK Hynix and also Samsung. What does it mean for most for the US based memory stocks, right? I'll also take you over today TSX is open, so we'll take a look at Micron and Sandisk on TSX, and let's take a look at a complete picture. Even the US market is closed today, but it doesn't matter. Okay, we have a lot of other things. At least we can look at a little bit things in correlation, and can we have a comeback on the sell-offs that we have had on Micron, right? Quite a bad one. And also on Sandisk, really bad one, right? So anyways, guys, let's jump right into it. Once I also let you know, none of this is any financial advice, only for education purposes, just sharing my opinion. Please do your own thing. So, okay, very first thing I want to mention that I am not biased on bullish or bearish side, okay? I'm here to tell you exactly what the market is telling us, okay? I call out bullish things when they are bullish, and I call out bearish things when they are bearish, because I want to teach you how to trade the market. Okay, I'm not here to prove a point. I'm here to teach you how to risk manage, how to position manage, how to understand the market, how to capture the direction, how to understand a break of price action and accordingly adjusting the position. I'm here to make you a better trader. I'm not here to prove a biased point. Okay, that's all my intention is. So when the market is bullish, I call out bullish plays, right? So many bullish trades, and if you remember, you already know that. And bullish trades when things were bullish, and when things started to break, I started to call out that we are breaking. So okay, so all right, now let's get to Kospi here. All right, so let's get to the market. Now this thing, okay, now Kospi, why we are looking at Kospi is because SK Hynix and Samsung pretty much makes closer to 56% almost, give or take, the Kospi market here. So it's good to see and get a gauge of that first, and then we'll take a look at how did SK Hynix and Samsung did, and then we'll take a look at TSX, Micron, and Sandisk in this video. So, and definitely guys, please leave a comment if you like to see this type of content as well, all right? And hit the like and subscribe. So we did have a good comeback in the price action. Okay, Kospi was already going down, and this already did a critical break of structure, guys, right over here in this zone. Okay, in this zone, Kospi already did a critical break of structure prior day of 8054 area significant level right over there. Okay, it is coming back up. It is not fully done. It is not fully out. As you can see, it is still right now in that zone. It is a part of a rebound, what you are just seeing right now. Okay, let me actually really quickly adjust the shade on that. A little bit lighter, we can go there. Okay, so this is still your resistance zone, guys. However, it is such a good rebound and a good strength. You can see it bounced off of a significant level below right over here. All marked by my tools for you automatically. Let's get to the hourly interval. Things will get clear. So, and here, as you can see, it's a good bounce. We did have a gap, right? So you have to be a little bit careful. These rebounds, which came at a significant level, got us to the next significant level, which is right behind that zone, the box that I just highlighted on that zone. And we just traded between that, but our direction technically is still negative. It is still to the downside. Now, the point is that it is a good rebound. Does this rebound has a strength to continue? While I do that, I'll just give you a directional reference line as well. that it's a guys, always use the trend lines as reference lines. You have to understand trade with the levels, horizontal levels. Those are the ones that are precise with when it comes to making trading decisions. Big institutions use those levels. Reference lines are more, well, the trend lines are more for a reference to just gauge what's going on. Okay, you cannot make a full complete decision based off of that. Orders are not placed on the trend lines, orders are placed on the levels, okay, of the big institutions. Now, so here, as we are still negative, a good rebound, what we want to see this week, or whenever Kospi opens or US market opens, whichever opens first, right? We want to see stabilization above 8050 area this very soon. If it can start another session above that and stabilize it, it has a room to do some continuation retests to the highs. There's a room for that, okay? And that's pretty much what you are watching right now. Okay, if we falter below and stay below this red zone, and as you please note, we are still not above that, we are still negative, we haven't stabilized above that yet, we will then continue still in the weakness below that 8050, that the box, right? Above that, if we can create another session, we may stabilize. It's a good rebound, I'll give it that. And as we'll take a look at the microns and all in just a moment, okay, well, you'll get a clear understanding. Let's take a look at SK Hynix. All right, a good rebound on this thing. However, it hasn't also really regained the structure yet. It is still technically in the negative structure right now. Okay, this is a good rebound. But this, the reason I'm showing you these first is so that you understand possibly what we can see on Micron and Sandisk. Okay, and what will entail from thereafter. Again, it's not guaranteed. Remember, US market is completely separate from SK Hynix or from Kospi and all. There is no correlation. What we are doing here is just the sentiment gauge. Okay, and Monday, what will the things be? Who knows? What the sentiment would be of the market? Who knows, right? And that's why it's important to understand the price action, because price action will tell you everything, and it has been telling us everything. Okay, so but the point is that what Kospi did, or SK Hynix did, don't take it one-on-one correlation with what will happen on Monday. No, it's that market when it was open, that was the price action. And we'll see when the US market opens how it continues its price action. Just because SK Hynix rebounded doesn't guarantee Micron will rebound. But we'll take a look at the price action, and price action is what you will have to rely upon to make your decisions. So, okay, SK Hynix, a good rebound, but it's still rejecting. All right. Now, these things are priced at in like the metrics or the units as in millions. So I'm just going to go like 2.4 or something. Okay. So 2.46 is where this zone pretty much. Below that, we have an overall negative direction still. It's a bounce though, and it's a good bounce, but we are not in the directional uptrend yet. Okay, and but if it just like Kospi overall, again guys, they make like 50% Samsung and Kospi, Samsung and SK Hynix together, Kospi. So most of the moves can be attributed to these, but area 2.46 area above, as if it can stay above it, stay up here, then you can expect a possibility of continuation there. Okay, right now it's just a bounce, guys. Okay, let's take a look at now Samsung. So Samsung also bounced. Now it is also a good bounce, but it is also rejecting at a structural zone still. Okay, it is a bounce in the direction, in the still a downward direction, just like very simply SK Hynix and Kospi. It's a bounce in the market. You want to see it stabilize above 316 area and so forth. I'm just negating the 00s at the end, last 3 digits, just because they are so huge numbers there. So you'll have to see it above, like stabilize up here, then only there will be a room for this to maybe go for up again. Otherwise, no, right now it's just a bounce. Okay, now that being said, let's take a look at, first of all, now Micron on the TSX, because TSX is open today. All right, but before we get to TSX Micron, let me actually show you what Micron did the last time. All right, So Micron has been continuing down, as I have been telling you since this day, that these are early indications already. And if you remember, you are already know where the money is flowing, and I have been talking to you about this from more than 5 days ago. And this video, as that I did, like, don't miss this video, talks about pretty much everything. So money, where is flowing, where we are putting our money, and all of that. So anyways, so that was the early indications, and that's why I was so confident in calling out that we are expecting a weakness, start taking profits, and that's where things have been continuing lower. Now, as if this is at a zone, all right, Micron is at a zone where if it bounces, this is where it has to bounce, but it will be first just a bounce. Now, let's get to the TSX Micron, because pretty much that is what is happening right now, a bounce. Okay, but please note, guys, just like TSX is not a huge volume, well, and also US market is what you will have to rely upon, because that's where the big orders are for these US listed equities. So TSX is just more for your reference here. Okay, so Monday will pretty much can negate everything what TSX did today on these things. Okay, because the heavy institutional orders and all, with they are based out of US. Okay, so here it's a bounce, it's a good bounce coming at a zone. However, it doesn't changes its direction still. Let's get to the hourly interval. So as if we stay above pretty much the zone, and I'll actually take you back to the Micron original, like Nasdaq and NYSE, whichever it is, but I'm just showing you that a little bit of a bounce is building today. Now it could be related to the continuation with a little bit of sentiment improvement in the Kospi and all, but let's get to Micron, back to our original one, so that we can identify what we are looking at. So what you are looking at from what we are seeing on TSX is Micron is up here somewhere. Okay, it is holding a little bit of a bounce at this yellow zone. Now, if you note that I have mentioned that right now structure below $1,100 will still remains negative on Micron, at least from nearby where we are. And as we make more price action evolutions, we'll get to see as if what are the new zones to focus on, and I'll tell you about those when they happen. So, and this is where, as if Monday a bounce has to come on US market, it will be first day it's just a bounce in the price action, which can take us back to $1,100. That's a very likely, and for that, the level with that we have to get above now, it's where you are focusing on the price action with the US market, and that is 1013. If we start to get above this significant level over here, and you can use the same principles on TSX, Kospi, the same thing, right? My tools will mark all these levels automatically for you. But my point is that US market for Micron is what we have to focus on, because that's where it's primarily traded, and that's where the big orders will be for Micron itself. If you are doing SK Hynix, well, it will be on the Nasdaq, but not right now. If you're doing Samsung, well, you gotta do Kospi then and things like that. But we have to not take over bits and pieces from one market onto the other. We can only gauge the correlation and sentiment, but when those market themselves open, like for example in this case Micron and Nasdaq 100 and all, or Nasdaq I mean in this case, then you have to trade with their price actions. Okay, so this is the zone 1013. If Micron can get above that, you can see a possible rebound. As what we saw in other markets, there's a bit of a bounce sentiment, so likelihood is that it may happen. But again, guys, we'll have to see when the futures open, when the pre-market opens and all of that. Okay, there are 2 days for this very sentiment that we had yesterday to just evaporate as well. Okay, so that can push us above at close to $1,100, and if even we close day above 1013, that's a good sign that at least we may start to go a little bit sideways. At least we will slow down the downfall. Otherwise, below, as we are already in the negative direction, 990 below, we will continue. Technically, our right now magnet is 850, as we continue to stay in this negative structure that we are in. All right, let's take a look at Sandisk. Sandisk had a brutal break. This thing, let's take a look at on TSX here. So it's a bounce, but it's still very weak, guys. A very weak bounce, and this is what I was expecting. Also, like with such a break, these bounces, just little bit of that is coming. It's just a bounce. Okay, so let's get to our here. So pretty much, um, your zone right now is a little bit larger. I want to update a bit of a SanDisk zone. This is the zone, and technically since we are on the negative structure, this is your zone right now, and we are hovering in the TSX somewhere here. But again, you will have to let the US market open. So SanDisk is definitely not in any comeback. The way it has flushed, as if we stay below this pretty much $1,900 area, the zone, it's gonna remain in the negative side, guys. These bounces will just most likely result like that. Unless we get above $1,900, then only you can expect a price action stabilization again, possibly. Which will, I'll still say that right now, new highs expectations should be rare or very low. We may mostly just see, even if we come back up, a possible distribution phase here right now in the market, because there are a lot of things I have been seeing in the market that I have told my members. And to put it simply in one word, money rotation is in the books right now, guys. Okay, so right now SanDisk may cool off, but $1,900 is the zone you are watching on this thing. And yeah, as you can see, precisely we rejected our prior zone that I have provided you, and we collapsed. And right now, yeah, that's pretty much what you are watching, guys. So let the US market opens. In summary, I just want to show you how the sentiment on Kospi is looking like, how SK Hynix did, right? Those are bounces. They are still bounces. Samsung, they're just bounces though. Okay, they haven't changed their full direction, but they're very close to doing that. And then TSX is just showing the bounces, and then Micron and Sandisk. Though when the US market opens, I already told you the zones to trade with, what possibly may happen, and if that happens, how you have to read that, right? All right, guys, that's all I had for you in this video. If you found it helpful, valuable, please hit the like, subscribe. If you want to check out a lot more things that I do for the members, check out on my channel, members only videos. And if you need my trading tools that marks all these levels automatically for you, and many other tools that will make you a profitable trader, you can check out the details to my tools in the description of this video. You may find discount also. So check the details out there, and I'll see you in my next videos. Take care, guys. Bye.